Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shah, Bahasham, Rakakwadash, the honors to the apostles, the elders, salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled, What's Next for Macron? Lord will, you are edified. Video was inspired from this video from the Sun Fair Use. This is a devastating blow for the president of France and the nation of Edom. This is spiritual, and the Most High made this public. Okay? Your kingdom is circling the drain. Y'all are finished. We are seeing a transition of power. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7. And Yahweh, your power, will put all these curses on your enemies, Esau and these other nations. And this will fully be fulfilled in the kingdom of heaven, but it's starting now. And on them that hate you, which persecute you. And one of these curses that the Most High afflicted us with is having our women ruling over us. And guess what? These other nations, beginning with Esau, will be afflicted by that same curse. Okay? $30 ago, this would have been unheard of and never made public. Okay, let's go to 1 Corinthians 11:3. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Mashiach is the Most High. So you have Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, the Israelite man, and the Israelite woman. Ecclesiasticus chapter 36 and verse 24. He that gets a wife begins a possession, a help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. So in the case of Macron, okay, his wife supposed to be his possession. She's supposed to be an assistant to him and a pillar of rest. How the hell is she a pillar of rest when she's slapping the shit out of him? Going back to what? Deuteronomy 30 and 7. And Yahweh, your power, will put all these curses on your enemies. Again, and Yahweh, your power, will put all these curses on your enemies. So your women will be over you all in our kingdom. And we're seeing a transition of power. Let's go to Isaiah 9 and 16. Salakia. That's not it. Isaiah 3 and 12. As for my people, Israelites, children are their oppressors, beginning with Esau and these other nations, and women rule over them. This will never happen again, not for the nation of Israel. O my people, they which lead you cause you to err, meaning sin, and destroy the way of your paths. So again, just like our women ruled over us, the same thing is going to happen to Esau and these other nations. So what's next for Macron? Let's go to Esther, the first chapter. All right. This is Esther 1 verse 1 in the NLT. These events happened in the days of King Xerxes, who reigned over 127 provinces, stretching from India to Ethiopia. At that time, Xerxes ruled his empire from his royal throne at the fortress of Susa. In the third year of his reign, he gave a banquet for all his nobles and officials. He invited all the military officers of Persia and Media, as well as the princes and nobles of the provinces. The celebration lasted 180 days, a tremendous display of opulent wealth of his empire and the pomp and splendor of his majesty. When it was all over, the king gave a banquet for all the people, from the greatest to the least, who were in the fortress of Susa. It lasted for 7 days and was held in the courtyard of the palace garden. The courtyard was beautifully decorated with white cotton curtains and blue hangings, which were fastened with white linen cords and purple ribbons to silver rings embedded in marble pillars. Gold and silver couches stood on a mosaic pavement of porphyry, marble, mother of pearl, and other costly stones. Drinks were served in gold goblets of many designs, and there was an abundance of royal wine, reflecting the king's generosity. By edict of the king, no limits were placed on the drinking, for the king had instructed all his palace officials to serve each man as much as he wanted. This man was balling. At the same time, Queen Vashti gave a banquet for the women in the royal palace of King Xerxes. On the 7th day of the feast, when King Xerxes was in high spirits because of the wine, he told the 7 eunuchs who attended him, Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, Abagtha, Zathar, and Carcass, to bring Queen Vashti to him with the royal crown on her head. He wanted the nobles and all the other men to gaze on her beauty, for she was a very beautiful woman. But when they conveyed the king's order to Queen Vashti, she refused to come. This made the king furious, and he burned with anger. He immediately consulted with his wise advisors, who knew all the Persian laws and customs, for he always asked their advice. The names of these men were Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Marius, Marcina, and Memucan, 7 nobles of Persia and Media. They met with the king regularly and held the highest positions in the empire. What must be done to Queen Vashti, the king demanded. What penalty does the law provide for a queen who refuses to obey the king's order properly sent through his eunuchs? Memucan answered the king and his nobles, Queen Vashti was wrong, not only Slakia. Queen Vashti has wronged not only the king, but also every noble and citizen throughout your empire. Women everywhere will begin to despise their husbands when they learn that Queen Vashti has refused to appear before the king. Before this day is out, the wives of all the king's nobles throughout Persia and Media will hear what the queen did and will start treating their husbands the same way. There will be no end to their contempt and anger. So if it please the king, we suggest that you issue a written decree, a law of the Persians and Medes that cannot be revoked. It should order that Queen Vashti be forever banished from the presence of King Xerxes, and that the king should choose another queen more worthy than she. When this decree is published throughout the king's vast empire, husbands everywhere, whatever their rank, will receive proper respect from their wives. And this was wise counsel. So what's next for Macron? He's supposed to consult with his counsel, all right, and have his wife banished. Why? To put out the fire, okay, before it begins to spread, to cut out the cancer before it starts to spread. And as you can see from a spiritual standpoint, these Edomite women are no longer respecting their Edomite husbands, because the curses are transitioning upon them, right? This was made public for us to rejoice in the continuance of the downfall of Edom. Lord will, this was an edifying lesson. Shalom.